it looks like it came out of a fryer. It's got that real, those blisters all over it, real crispy skin, and that's all thanks to the baking powder, cornstarch, and salt. And the overnight dry, of course. Hey everyone, it's Kenji. Today we're gonna make some oven-fried buffalo wings. So everybody likes buffalo wings, at least if chicken wing sales during Super Bowl season are any indication. Everyone loves buffalo wings, but nobody likes to fry at home. So the reason frying is so good for making buffalo wings is because it's a real violent form of heat transfer. Liquids transfer heat really efficiently, and oil can get really hot. And so the idea is that by frying things, you can get the outside to crisp up really well before the inside has a chance to overcook. So if you were to just take chicken wings, just straight out of the package like that, and try and roast them instead, air is actually a pretty poor method of heat transfer. And so what happens is that by the time the outside of the wings have crisped up, they end up real dry. And so you don't get the same effect as if you fry them. So how do we solve that problem? Well, there's a few things. So moisture is really the enemy of crisping. So a lot of the goal here is to reduce the moisture as much as possible. So that's what I'm starting with. I started with air-chilled chicken wings. If you can find them, they're better. They're always going to be labeled air-chilled if they are, as opposed to water-chilled. So what regular chicken wings are chickens, as they're processed, to cool them rapidly, they dunk them into a big vat of ice water. And that cools them rapidly, but it also adds water to them. So chickens that are water-chilled, standard chickens tend to have skin that's a little bit waterlogged, so they don't crisp up as nicely. Air-chilled chicken are done in blast chillers, chilled with air, and so the skin tends to be drier. So you want to start with water-chilled chicken if you can. Then you want to dry the skin as much as possible with some paper towels. Next, we're going to transfer these chicken wings to a bowl. And we're going to season them. So this is 2 pounds of chicken wings. So for every pound of chicken wings, you want to do a teaspoon of kosher salt. So 2 teaspoons of kosher salt here. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch is also going to sort of help make sure that the exterior of the wings stay dry. And then finally, this is sort of the secret ingredient. This is baking powder. Not baking soda, but baking powder. So I've spent a lot of time cooking in Colombia, and when I was down there, I learned how to make chicharrón. So it's like fried pork belly. When you make chicharrón, what you do is you season the meat, you season the pork belly with salt and with baking soda, and then you fry it in its own fat. And what the baking soda does is it helps it brown more efficiently, and it also makes it crisper. Baking powder also has a slightly alkaline pH, so it's going to have some of that same effect. But more importantly, what it does is, as the chicken cooks and it starts to exude its juices, those juices dissolve, the baking powder dissolves in those juices and it starts to bubble up. And so you get this sort of really protein-rich liquid that's forming these teeny tiny bubbles that then dry out and harden in the oven. So you get extra surface area. So that's the real trick for making oven-fried chicken wings that have a real crisp texture. This technique, by the way, it's one I developed originally for a roast chicken recipe at Cooks Illustrated in like 2008. And then when I was at Serious Eats, a couple years later, I readapted that recipe to work for these wings. All right, finally, what we're gonna do is take a tray, a wire rack in it, we're going to put these wings on there, and we're going to let these rest in the fridge, uncovered, overnight. The idea here, again, is that we want the surface to really dry out nicely. You don't want to go more than overnight, by the way. So in order, chicken skin is mostly made of collagen, connective tissue. In order for collagen to properly soften, what happens is as it heats up in the presence of water, it'll convert to gelatin. If there's no water present, then that chemical reaction will not happen, and the collagen will actually never soften. It will never convert to gelatin, and instead of turning sort of tender and crispy, you end up with something that's really leathery. So it's important that chicken skin, you don't let it dry for more than overnight. If you go too long, it will never ever soften in the oven, and it'll just turn leathery instead. All right, so this is going to go into the fridge uncovered overnight. You want to go bottom shelf of the fridge so that you're not accidentally dripping chicken juices or getting chicken bacteria all over your other food. So bottom shelf of the fridge overnight. I will come back and show you what that looks like the next day. All right, so it has been overnight. Today is the next day. I didn't just change my shirt and rearrange stuff here and pull out a swap of chicken wings. These are definitely the same wings that we had before. You can see that they're dry now. So you can see they start to actually get this kind of slightly crusty look to them. That's actually a good thing. So if you followed my original Serious Eats recipe, at this stage they would normally go straight in the oven. What I found actually though is that you get slightly better results if you first, transfer the wings to a bowl. And we're just going to toss them with a little bit of oil. So just a neutral oil, something like canola, vegetable, just a couple tablespoons. And that's just going to help the surface of those wings kind of fry a bit instead of, instead of relying on the chicken's own fat, we're adding a little bit of extra fat there to help help boost that frying effect. Okay, right back on here. We want to arrange them so that the side with the most skin is facing up. So with the flats, that's going to be this side, and with the drumettes, that's going to be that side. And sometimes you'll find that with the drumettes, like the skin might pull back a little bit. You just want to kind of stretch it out. So like right there, it's pulled back a little. We just want to stretch it out so that it's covering up all the meat and protecting it. So we get maximum crispage. All right. Do you know who Crispin Glover is? Yes. The actor? Yeah, Crispin Glover. He played the dad in Back to the Future. I wonder if Crispin Glover is a crispy lover. All right. Let me wash the chicken off my fingers. He also played the weird screaming swordsman in the Charlie's Angels movies. All right. So at this stage, our chicken wings are ready to go in the oven. So 450 degree oven set on convection if you've got it. And they're going to go in there for about 20 minutes. All right, so while that chicken is in the oven, we're going to make our sauce. Buffalo wings, the traditional sauce is made with butter and Frank's. Frank's hot sauce. If you're not familiar with Frank's, maybe if you're not from the U.S., Frank's hot sauce is a sort of vinegary, not too spicy, mildly spicy hot sauce. If you can't get Frank's, Crystal from Louisiana is going to be real similar in flavor. But of course you can do, if you've ever seen the hot ones, you can do any kind of sauce you want on here. But typically it's going to be hot sauce mixed with butter. In this case, I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic to it. So 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to melt 4 tablespoons of butter in a skillet here. All right, garlic is going to go right in. Pretty moderate heat here, so kind of medium low. We don't want to brown anything. I don't want any brown butter flavor in here. I kind of just want that mild melted butter flavor, and we want the garlic to heat just enough that it kind of mellows out in flavor. So no browning. We're just looking to kind of sweat it out, take sort of the harsher edge off of it. And same with the garlic. I'm not looking to brown it at all, just lightly sweat it, soften it a little bit, get some of that flavor infused into the garlic. Get some of that flavor infused into the butter and just kind of mellow it out and get rid of its sort of the harsher tones of the garlic and let the sweeter stuff sing through. All right. Now the hot sauce, we want about equal parts hot sauce and butter, so about 4 tablespoons of hot sauce also. But I'm going to let my heart do the measuring. And that's it. That is your basic wing sauce. By the way, if you've ever tasted, Frank's, it used to be just one product. Frank's now has like a line of different hot sauces. I think they've got a regular one, they've got a sriracha flavored one, they've got their extra hot, and then they have one in a jar that's called buffalo sauce. You might think that you want the Frank's buffalo sauce for buffalo wings. You don't. The buffalo sauce has like a fake butter flavor added to it, and it's intended to be used like straight out of the jar. I find that it doesn't taste anything like real butter. It tastes like real fake butter. So you're much better off buying the regular Frank's and combining it with butter yourself. All right, so those chicken wings are gonna cook for 20 minutes and then we're gonna flip them over. So I will see you back in about 20 minutes. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. We're gonna take our chicken out now and give it a flip. But if you take a look at here, if you take a look at this, you can see the skin has already started to kind of bubble up, and you can see these tiny little micro blisters that are being caused by that, the chicken juices bubbling up from the baking powder. All right, so we're gonna flip these over so that we can crisp both sides. And then they're gonna go right back in the oven. All right, so these are gonna go right back in the oven. And at this point, they're gonna take another 15 to 30 minutes or so. We're gonna check on them after 15. They could take up to 30, but we're looking for them to be really nice and crispy all over. All right, it's been a further 20 minutes. I'm gonna take this out of the oven. Look at that. So golden brown, crispy, whew, hot. It looks like it came out of a fryer. It's got that real, those blisters all over it, real crispy skin. And that's all thanks to the baking powder, cornstarch, and salt. And the overnight dry, of course. All right, so I'm gonna get these off, get them into a bowl, toss them in our sauce. Actually, let's see if we can, I'm gonna pull a little bit of skin off and show you how crispy it is. All right, ready? I don't know if you could hear that, but it tastes real crispy. All right. Wings here, sauce on. Give it a real thorough toss. And get them onto our plate. So just classic accompaniments here. I got celery and blue cheese. Do people do ranch on this? Lena, do you do ranch on your chicken wings?
When I can.
You do ranch instead of blue cheese?
I'll do blue cheese first.
You would do blue cheese first, but you would not turn down ranch.
I'll never turn down ranch.
Do you do ranch, Michael?
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese, okay. If you do ranch, I can just say,
You're wrong.
how dare you? All right. These are real hot right now, but I'm gonna go. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
This is gonna be painful. Oof. I'm starting with a drumette, which is not my piece of choice. I guess it is literally my piece of choice. Wow. Wings are good, huh? So I should have mentioned the other thing that the salt does, which I'm going to say as I wipe buffalo wings from my lips. The other thing that the salt does overnight is that as salt works its way into chicken, it acts as like a brine, the same way that a brine does on a chicken breast or a turkey or a whole turkey, something like that, where what it does is the salt will dissolve some of the muscle protein so that as the chicken cooks, it doesn't tighten up as much, it doesn't squeeze out as much moisture, and so you're able to keep your chicken moister even though it's cooking longer. You know, in a deep fryer, your chicken might take 9 or 10 minutes to get crispy. In the oven, it took more like, what was it, like 40 minutes or so? Even though you're cooking for a much longer time, you're able to retain a lot more moisture in there, and you still end up with a really juicy piece of chicken because of all these steps we took. If I've got one pet peeve surrounding chicken wings, is when people leave too much behind. This is something I've trained my daughter, Alicia, who is now 7. She goes a step beyond me. She doesn't just eat all the little bits of cartilage off. She actually cracks open the bone and sucks out the marrow from the individual wings. Actually, well, she used to. She's now a pescatarian, so she doesn't. But she was well trained until she went to the dark side. All right. Chen, you want a little? Jen want some chicken?
Jen always wants chicken.
All right, I'm gonna have one more. I'm gonna go for a wing here. Whoop. So if you cook them right, by the way, you can kind of twist it like that and pull the bones right out, so you get this kind of boneless thing you can go for. Give me a second.
Jen, let me rinse the garlic and hot sauce off this for you.
Oh, Jen, right up here. Good boy. All right. Crispy oven fried chicken wings. The keys are to add salt, baking powder, and cornstarch the day before. Let the chickens dry out overnight in the fridge uncovered. And then the next day, you cook them 425 degrees to 450 degrees in a convection oven. Convection if you've got it. They take about 40 minutes in the oven. They come out real crispy. You toss them in whatever sauce you want. Serve them with blue cheese or ranch if you are an uneducated heathen. And then everyone's happy. All right, guys, gals, non-binary pals. See you next time. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can find the full article and recipe along with bonus content and my newsletter for free on my Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos like this, or my alternate channel, Kenji Lopez Main, for my dining content. And follow me on Instagram at Kenji Lopez-Alt for daily updates. You can also get signed and personalized copies of any of my books. That's The Food Lab, The Walk, or my children's book, Every Night is Pizza Night, shipped from Book Larder here in Seattle. Find the links to all of this, as well as all of the tools I used in today's video, in the description below. Thanks.